Hello YouTube, this is Payless Rob with the MaKaElectric Rebuttal Channel, signing on for another visit. Thank you for dropping by. This concerns the news story you very likely have heard about David Crowley, the person who wanted to direct a film called Gray State about a supposed police takeover and government takeover of the United States. A very tragic story is that David Crowley, who never got a chance to make the movie. He did a few teaser trailers for it, but never made it. Was found dead a few days ago in his home. Also dead along with him were his wife and 5-year-old daughter. Apparently, he hadn't been seen or heard from people for a few weeks. And with Christmas presents piling up on the door, they called authorities. Authorities went in and found the decaying bodies of these three people. The only thing living was the family dog. How the dog managed to survive, I don't even want to think about. So, of course, this causes two forks in the road. First is the police decision or finding that this was indeed a suicide. Apparently, from what I've read, nothing of note was taken from the home. Relatives who have gone into the home could not find anything of import that was missing. And then the other side, of course, is where the conspiracy theorists, such as MaKaElectric, come out and decree under no doubt whatsoever, absolute certain ironclad terms, that David Crowley did not kill himself and his family. It was done by the government because they didn't want this movie, which was not even made yet, to come out. First of all, I would put to you that there's been far more critical documentaries that are anti-government where people have not been killed in their homes, including a 5-year-old girl. But I suggest you go to MaKaElectric's YouTube channel and find his video about David Crowley, where he talks about his feelings about it. As a internet independent journalist, he decides to report on this. But of course, he leaves out something very important. The fact that David Crowley was displaying quite a few signs of mental illness in the days and weeks before this happened. Here's a article posted online by a man by the name of Manny Schwartz. This is from January 20th. I'll read a bit of it for you. Sometime in the last few weeks, a Minnesota man named David Crowley, his wife and 5-year-old child, all died in what police are referring to as an apparent murder-suicide. The bodies were recently found by neighbors who were curious as to why unopened Christmas gifts had piled up at their door. This is not only a horrible, tragic case of domestic violence, but it also looks like what happens when people with pre-existing mental issues such as PTSD or schizophrenia buy wholesale into the conspiracy nonsense peddled by the likes of Alex Jones and others. Drop down a little bit here. While the actions and political beliefs of the people who buy into these tales of conspiracy vary, when you boil it down, the core of what they believe is that their government or the entire world is controlled by a small group of people referred to. Now you're going to hear keywords that MaKa uses all the time because he's bought into this, and by terms referred to as the people in the world referred to as banksters, which is usually another way of saying Jews or Zionists, without the risk of immediately coming across as a bigot. You may notice the video before the one about David Crowley, MaKaElectric did a Jericho report where the background he had on his green screen showed people wearing all sorts of anti-Semitic symbols. You could check that out for yourself. Going into a little bit what people were saying about David Crowley in the time leading up to this incident, Someone who knew him with the last name of Hubble says, September time, he stopped talking to people. He asked me to stay in touch with him so we could support each other, and he just stopped taking my calls. He was in a place where he needed help and was too big for him to help himself. Meanwhile, this happened in Apple Valley, Minnesota. A Minneapolis TV station, a reporter, Tom Lydon, filed this report.
They seemed like a happy husband and wife, but this weekend, the Apple Valley couple and their 5-year-old daughter were found dead inside their metro home. An apparent murder-suicide. Fox 9's Tom Lydon starts us off tonight. And Tom, apparently something was very wrong here.
Yeah, that's for sure. But, you know, it's unclear how much of what was going wrong had to do with this film project, a very dark government conspiracy thriller David Crowley had dreamed of bringing to the silver screen, but the project had lost much of its momentum in the months leading up to this murder-suicide.
Nobody wanted to make it.
The quiet street in Apple Valley couldn't contain the dreams of the couple who lived here, or their nightmare. On Saturday, police discovered the bodies of David and Kamel Crowley and their 5-year-old daughter. Police are calling it a murder-suicide. They'd apparently been dead for weeks. Only the family dog was still alive.
I kind of think it most likely wasn't him, because when I saw them around in the summer, they got along so well.
The couple did.
Yes.
He met David Crowley at his garage sale last summer. The military veteran shared a few stories, but told the boy his passion was filmmaking.
Did he seem pretty excited about his movie?
He did, and last time I talked to him was on Halloween, and he said he was trying to sell it in Hollywood.
This is the concept trailer for a movie Crowley wanted to direct called Gray State, a dystopian vision of an America under government tyranny. For the last 4 years, Crowley had been using the trailer to attract investors.
This was no budget. And we've already passed a lot of those films on Facebook in popularity, and we're in hibernation.
Charles Hubbell is an actor in the trailer and says in recent months, Crowley had become despondent. The project had lost steam.
He was sad and frustrated about how the movie wasn't gaining traction. September time frame where he just stopped talking to a lot of us.
Crowley had even turned to like-minded libertarians to finance the project, like this Ron Paul event.
We are not a nation of sheep.
He was also part of a company that taught actors how to handle weapons.
You could be the greatest actor in the world, but if you're not holding your weapon correctly, you're not conveying that role.
The bizarre nature of the murder-suicide leading to tabloid headlines and conspiracy theories. A Justice for David Crowley Facebook site has popped up overnight, suggesting Crowley was assassinated because of his controversial movie. But Crowley's friend believes the aspiring director was battling demons of doubt, more insidious than any conspiracy.
He asked me to put.
All right, so that's the gist of what we were talking about, how David Crowley exhibited quite a few problems leading up to the potential suicide or murder, whatever the case may be. I have no doubt that I'm going to get reactions from people saying that Manny Schwartz is a jerk, and I have no doubt that people will mention that Manny Schwartz, he's Jewish. I expect that in my comments, but we will see what happens.